Did anyone ever tell you that life after 80 can arrive like a curveball? Even the strongest, most independent people often find themselves surprised by what this stage brings. In this video, we're exploring 5 difficult and unexpected shifts that nearly everyone encounters after crossing into their 80s. These aren't the obvious physical changes or what shows up on medical charts. These are quieter, deeper adjustments, changes in how people relate to you, how you sense the passing of time, and how memories begin revealing truths you hadn't fully seen before. Some of what we'll talk about may be things you've felt but haven't quite been able to name, others may feel new or unfamiliar, but all of them share one thing: they shape the experience of aging. Stay with us, because even though these changes can seem harsh, understanding them can bring ease, clarity, and even renewed strength. There's real empowerment in naming what you're going through and realizing you're far from alone. One of the subtle shifts that unfolds after 80 is the gradual tightening of your social circle. You may still get a call now and then or welcome an occasional visitor, but the rhythm feels different. What was once effortless now feels more scattered or delicate. Friends move, fall ill, or pass away. Family members are busy with their own responsibilities. Before you even notice, more hours are spent in quiet than in conversation. This isn't bitterness, just honesty. Few people openly admit how hard it becomes to maintain those connections. You notice fewer invitations, longer gaps between visits, and even if you've never needed constant company, the silence rings louder than you ever expected. You may find yourself reflecting more often, not necessarily out of longing, but as a way to keep loved ones close through memory. The laughter, the routines, the small everyday moments begin to feel like cherished pieces of your history. And there's no shame in that. It's not weakness, it's simply an adjustment almost everyone faces, yet almost no one prepares for. That's why staying emotionally connected to yourself, to your story, and to the few people who matter deeply becomes more important than ever. When the crowd falls away, the meaning found in a few close relationships becomes priceless. Another change that surprises many people in their 80s is how even small health issues stop behaving like small problems. A cold seems to hang on longer, a bruise takes weeks instead of days, a tiny stumble can turn into days or weeks of careful recovery. It's not just that the body slows, it's that it no longer bounces back the way it once did. The margin for error narrows. Missing a meal or not drinking enough water can throw everything off. You may still feel strong and in many ways you are, but your body no longer repairs itself quietly in the background, and while others may brush it off as just aging, you feel the difference. You carry the weight of every recovery. You notice how long it takes for energy to return. The emotional impact can be just as heavy as the physical one. If you've always taken pride in being capable and independent, these changes can feel almost personal, as if your body is breaking a lifelong promise. But awareness is its own kind of power. When you start paying attention to what your body is telling you, you can adjust. You can slow down without giving up. You can offer yourself rest, hydration, patience, and compassion. This part of life isn't about proving you're unbreakable, it's about protecting the strength you still have by treating yourself with care. If you're still watching and finding this helpful, drop a number 2 in the comments so I know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you may want to hit that button and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos. Your support encourages us to keep creating content that informs and uplifts. Another shift that often catches people off guard is the subtle sense of becoming less visible in social spaces. It's not that people are intentionally rude, they just move through conversations differently. You enter a room and the atmosphere doesn't shift the way it once did. You speak, and sometimes others unintentionally talk over you. You find yourself repeating things or waiting longer to be heard. Even with family, you may feel a quiet sense of being overlooked. It's not just being ignored, it's the sense that your presence doesn't register as strongly in a world moving ever faster and ever more focused on youth. It can feel as though your age walks into the room before you do, as though your stories and wisdom are set aside, even when they hold more truth than ever. These moments can stir sadness, frustration, or a subtle grief, but there is strength in recognizing what's actually happening. This isn't a reflection of your worth, it's a sign of a culture that has forgotten to listen deeply to its elders. You are not invisible, your voice still matters, and the people who truly choose to listen, who genuinely value your humor, your insights, your lived experience, are the ones who count. They are listening, even if it takes the world a bit longer to catch up. So don't shrink back. Keep speaking your truth. You may not be the loudest person in the room, but you are often the wisest, and that carries more weight than most people realize. Another thing that shifts after 80 is the gradual narrowing of daily life. It's not that life suddenly collapses, it just subtly contracts. You may go out less, not because you've lost interest, but because everything takes more energy, feels farther away, or requires navigating obstacles that didn't exist before. Friends who once dropped by may no longer be able to. Neighbors change. Familiar places close or evolve. The world doesn't disappear, it just becomes smaller around the edges. At first the quiet feels gentle. Over time, though, it becomes heavier. Even those who cherish independence can feel unsettled watching once familiar pieces of life slowly drift away. But acknowledging this isn't weakness, it's clarity. It's grief born from caring deeply about your life and the people in it. The shrinking of your old world doesn't mean growth can't happen. It may look different, less about big adventures and more about deeper connections, meaningful conversations, or sharing memories in ways you hadn't before. Life doesn't need to be wide to be full, it just needs meaning. Call someone you've been thinking about, join a group, even if it's online, step outside for a short walk, even if it's only to the corner. Your world may be changing, but it isn't finished. There is still plenty of room for joy, connection, and purpose. If this message resonates, drop a number 4 in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed yet, turning on notifications helps us continue bringing you content that encourages and inspires. Something else that becomes more noticeable after 80 is the unpredictability of your own body. One day you wake up steady and clear, ready to take on whatever the day brings. The next day, you're slower, stiff, or tired without warning. Your hands may not grip the way they did yesterday, or your legs may feel unsteady for no apparent reason. It's not just the inconvenience, it's the feeling of betrayal. You've lived in this body for decades, trusted it, relied on it. Now it changes the rules overnight. You might plan an outing only to feel your energy drain unexpectedly. You might bend to tie your shoes and find it takes a moment longer to stand back up. A wave of dizziness might appear out of nowhere, then vanish just as quickly. These inconsistencies don't just affect your movements, they affect your confidence. You may hesitate before leaving the house, not because you're unable, but because you're unsure how your body will respond. That hesitation is natural. Anyone would feel it, but there is comfort in remembering that while your body may be unpredictable, your response still belongs to you. Flexibility becomes a strength. Adaptability becomes a skill. You learn how to pace yourself, how to prepare, how to treat yourself gently instead of with frustration. You learn to rest when you need to, stretch when you should, and talk to your doctor not just when something goes wrong, but to understand what's changing and how to support yourself. Knowledge restores a sense of control even in uncertainty. Your body may be shifting, but your awareness and resilience are still very much intact. If you're still watching and finding value in this, comment number 4 below. And if you haven't subscribed, feel free to do so and hit the bell so you don't miss upcoming videos. Your support helps us continue creating content that encourages and informs. We've now walked through 5 difficult realities that tend to appear after age 80. Each one brings its own surprises and can quietly reshape how you move through the world. From the thinning of social ties to the unpredictability of your own body, these changes often arrive faster than expected. But acknowledging them isn't surrendering, it's stepping into this stage of life with clarity and intention. What stood out to you most? Which of these changes have you noticed in your own life or in the life of someone close to you? Share your thoughts in the comments. Tell us one thing you're taking away from today's video and how you plan to approach Ida, whether that's letting go of old regrets, reconnecting with someone, or treating yourself with more kindness. Your perspective may be the message someone else needs. Growing older doesn't diminish your value, it deepens your understanding. And when we face these truths together, we build strength not only for ourselves, but for one another. Thank you for spending time with us. We'd truly love to hear your reflections. Leave a comment and tell us what resonated with you and how you plan to carry it forward. Your voice matters, and if this video brought you insight or comfort, feel free to like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue offering thoughtful content to encourage and uplift. We look forward to connecting with you again in the next video.